And we're back with some more oxygen not included on our little magma layer here. Now, do you know what it's like when you come back to a playthrough and you haven't been doing it in a while and you're like, wait, what was I doing again? It's like, oh, yeah, it's a subterranean magma layer and I'm trying to build through magma. And then you're trying to remember how you were going to deal with all the problems this entails. Yeah, holidays, they're going to take me a minute to come back up to speed with what was happening. But plan. We are going to burrow down here. We need to free up more space. At some point, we're going to need to stick in a nuclear reactor down here, and we need to, well, get rid of some of this magma. We could use door pumps to crush it and destroy it, but no. Just, no, that's not the way you do this. That's just wrong. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to pump that magma into a rocket, and then, yeah, we're going to fill up rockets full of magma and fire them back to our home planet. Our home planet is, well, the magma down here has sort of cooled down a lot, so we're going to need a lot more magma. I mean, if we want to keep this water filtration system we've got running, eventually we're going to need more heat for it. And I figure, well, why not just use the magma from the magma core on the other planet? Oh, water tank, not quite full yet. We're still good on that front. Also, at the same time, we're going to sweep up all the debris down here. It needs to go. But yes, over here, we're going to start burrowing. It's time to put in a magma pump. And we have hit bottom. Now we just got to remove this airflow tile and hope too much doesn't flood in. See, there's a bunch of magma pressure there, but we're hoping is it doesn't overflow over the top. Otherwise, we're going to need to do something to get rid of that. I'm not sure mopping will function, but we want to be able to put a liquid pump right here in these 4 tiles. So if this magma pushes its way up into that tile, we're going to have a problem. Just thinking about it. Okay. Please stabilize. Oop, no. No. Oh, there we go. Damn it. The plan is very simple. We're going to block that off right there, throw in a few temperature shift plates and cool down this magma. Once that's gone, it should no longer bulge up anymore. Oh, that's going to be a little bit of a chunk to take care of, but we got this, There we go, all gone. Now we can just rip this stuff out again. We should be able to open this up and no more magma overflow, hopefully. Come on. Be good, magma. Be good. Oh, god damn you, magma. One more minute. 3rd time's the charm. And maybe not quite. 4th time is the charm. Maybe. Come on. Come on. I think that's not better. We put in an extra tile there to help force them out, and I think there we go. Nice. Now we can place a liquid pump right here. This is going to be a little bit squishy. We've done these sort of builds before, but they're not easy. Now, let's get started. We'll show how the pumping of magma works in a minute, but first we got to get a few pieces of infrastructure in place. The first thing we have to do is install a liquid filter. This is going to filter out the magma from our trigger liquid. So what's going to happen is that's going to come up here, go into this section. Oh, and then we're going to have to get rid of that ladder tile there. The trigger liquid will get dumped right back down here where it's going to get sucked up into the liquid pump. And while it's getting sucked up into the liquid pump will be tricked into picking up a little bit of magma while it's at it. So this will give us about half a pipe of magma, which is, about 5 kilos of magma per second, which we're going to pump all the way up here and dump into this rocket platform. We're going to land a special rocket on this to store as much magma as we possibly can. This is going to be a little bit tricky though. These are not one of the easiest builds to do. And once you know the mechanics, it's not so bad, but let's just say pumping around magma is a little bit dangerous. We need to put a trigger liquid right there, and what we're going to use is viscogel. Namely because it piles up a bit and won't overflow the edge, because a little bit of liquid were to overflow this edge and land in that magma, we'd be dealing with a whole bunch of boiling gas just rolling around in here, which would be very bad. Also, the liquid needs to be cool enough to keep the liquid pump down. Oh, and we're also going to need a steam turbine as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff that needs doing, but let's just get in the basic infrastructure to start. Amazing how quickly you can get these things completed with a decent work crew on site. Okay, now the liquid pump's going to go down there, but we'll leave that till... Oh, actually, wait, no, we can't place that right there. We need to provide some cooling for this liquid filter. Otherwise, things will not work so good. Oh, damn it. That's painful to have to deconstruct that, but it's fine. It's fine. We can fix this. We need that up 1 tile because we're going to need to sit this pump on top of something. It can't be sitting in a vacuum, otherwise it will overheat. So we'll put an insulated tile beneath it. We'll stick a little liquid on it, and then we're going to have to run down a cooling gas or liquid to make sure that the thing doesn't overheat over the long-term period of pumping all the magma. It won't be the heat of the magma that makes it heat up. It'll be the heat of the building itself. That should be everything. We're going to have some gas pipes come down here with a little bit of radiant pipe there and there. There'll be a little blob of liquid here and here, and that will help cool down these sections. And then for the pump, you know what? We've got the material, so let's make one out of, where is it? Niobium. I mean, there's some on this planet. We got 2.3 tons of this stuff, so let's make the liquid pump out of it. Why not? It's only 400 kilos of this stuff. And that should be just out of the magma. Done. Ready to go. I've turned this off with automation though. We don't want to start this up just yet. This has been set to filter out viscogel. We still have to fire that over. But that should be our way of pumping magma out of there. It'll take a while, but, you know, we've got time. Now, if we go back to our home planet here, we have constructed ourselves our magma harvesting rocket. It is loaded with 2 liquid cargo containers, each one capable of storing 27 tons of magma. So that's 54 tons of magma this thing can potentially contain. It doesn't have solar panels, couldn't fit them on, but we did stick on one battery module, which is powered by the place it's at, which is fine. The interior is, well, Spartan, to say the least. There isn't even a bed. They do get a mess table, but I'm not sure how worthwhile that is. Look at the mess hall plus 3 morale bonus, but that's pretty much all we could hope for. Oh no, I forgot. We still have to put in the toilet. Never mind, we won't even get a bonus from that. There we go. Wall toilet in. The wall toilet is actually mounted on the door. They have to walk past the toilet to get in and out. Now, to feed the wall toilet with water, we're using basically a big stretch of insulated pipes. Those insulated pipes weave their way all the way around the rocket to cram in as much water as we possibly can. This way we cut back on having to store water anywhere. I mean, we could use the water storage of the rocket, but no, we will not. Then oxygen-wise, we're going to just have the suit dock. We're going to have that provided its gas by the output port here. It's only going to get gassed up when it's landing. We don't really care. We're going to have the duplicant in here. They're basically just going to sit in the rocket, do nothing, and then once they get to the other side, they're just going to sit there, and yeah, they're going to have very few reasons to ever exit the rocket. And if we do let them exit the rocket, it should only be briefly. So this atmosuit is just more there as emergency stuff rather than anything else. They've got 10 tons of oxalate to keep them going. They've got a whole bunch of food to keep them going. They're just going to fly over there, sleep on the floor, and probably not be the happiest to, but it will be a reasonable rocket that should hopefully work out fine. I mean, look at that. That's so many tons of liquid storage. Okay, over here, we're just sending some plastic over. We're firing over some plastic and some viscogel over to Tostibo, just so we can use that stuff to build a few things that we're going to desperately need. The things that we desperately need are, well, a steam turbine setup. We need a cooling setup to keep all of this setup cool. And we're also going to need to land that rocket right there. Okay, we'll worry about that in a minute. First off, steam turbine. Our plastic has arrived. We're just going to stick a quick payload opener over here. And then we're just going to dump it out onto the ground, onto an insulated tile. I don't trust sticking it onto the abyssite because, the abyssite's 1300 degrees. I don't think it will melt, but I'm not willing to take that risk. Now, over here is where we're going to put our steam turbine because we just don't have a lot of room on this planet. Well, I suppose we did stick in a rocket silo, so, maybe we wasted the room on... Okay, I wouldn't say wasted. We used that room on more essential stuff. Plastic acquired. We'll deal with the viscogel in a minute. I don't want to be running the viscogel down here until we've got at least some way of dealing with the heat that's going to be generated. So over here, we're going to put in the second section. This section here is where we're going to do all our cooling. Well, at least for now. We're going to have to expand this out to deal with, well, the niobium volcano. The cooling for that is going to... Well, we're going to require a lot of cooling. But we can't provide that cooling until we have more space, and we just don't have access to that space just yet. This here will be the aquatuner. That aquatuner will provide the cooling as well as that... Oh, actually down here, the gas from this is... This is going to be a bit of a squeeze. But I think the gas from this is going to have to come up and in here. We'll rotate it around in here a little bit just to cool it down. We don't need it that cool, like 100 or anything where below 200 degrees is more than enough. And then it will rotate at the bottom. And come down here. Oh, okay, we'll have to dig out some abyssite, but that's fine. And then, boom. We'll fill that with a gas, probably oxygen. That'll rotate around and provide cooling to the liquid pump down here and the liquid filter. All we need to do now is put some water in there. Now, luckily, our rockets were stockpiled with water. We brought way more water than we needed for the toilet, so we've got 8.5 tons there and 8.5 tons there. A ton of water from each of these we can leave on the planet to at least get this kickstart. In fact, probably about 4 or 5 tons of water we can leave on this planet. It'll provide oxygen for the one crew person we leave behind. But for now, let's get our cooling solution in place. We unfortunately had some minor complications down here. It turns out there's some magma trapped in an airflow tile that popped out when we dug through a few sections here, but it's fine. A few temperature shift plates and we've managed to get rid of most of it. Little bit left, some minor scaldings, but nothing we can't walk off. Let's hopefully get this finished. We're going to need to put some water in here to provide, well, as a heat transfer medium and to, run the steam turbine. So I'm thinking we'll stick in a liquid reservoir down here. We managed to core out a little bit of space, but we're going to have to grab the liquid from these rockets up here. This means we had to move a few things around to get it working. Namely, we put a liquid rocket port unloader here, and we stuck a second one over there. We're going to have the two of them feed back down. In fact, we're going to have you... Actually, wait. Cancel that. We're going to have it feed onto this pipe here, and then we're going to divert it down here. Yes, actually, you can be diverted in there. We'll just snip that for now. And then we can store up about 5 tons of water and use that for various things around the... around this sector until we're finished. We're definitely going to be using a bunch of that to provide oxygen for the crew that's going to be coming here manning the rocket to stay here long term. There we go. Water coming out of both of the rockets. That will just combine there so we draw roughly evenly from both tanks. We've definitely got more than enough in storage that I think we can take 5 tons of this stuff and dump it on the planet. Alright, while that's going on, we'll get ready to finish this off. Oh, and what was it? Yeah, Viscogel. I don't want to deploy the Viscogel just yet. The reason being, we're going to fill this cooling loop here with oxygen. The problem with that for the time being is some parts of this cooling loop are, magma temperatures. And if we ran that through the Viscogel down here, if we already deployed the Viscogel, it would cause the Viscogel to immediately flash to gas and, well, with all the surrounding magma, this whole place to become unlivable, and we would never be able to return without some serious work. Alright, so we'll wait until that finishes up. Once it is, we can start filling this. Because I'm impatient, I'm just going to grab this liquid reservoir while it's got 600 kilos in it and deconstruct it. We'll take all of that water and we'll dump it in here. That should give us the necessary section here to start this section up. Well, that's a bit odd. I hadn't really thought of that. The water in here is starting to boil. Abyssalite. Yep, that's... God damn it! This is not good. You know what? We're going to make that an emergency priority. Come on. Well, it's down at grams. We still have a chance. But if it gets much hotter, we won't. Come on. Finish that off. Go. Go. Come. Seriously, George was taking you so long. Oh. Okay. We got some steam. Right, that's a problem, but not the end of the world. It's such a minute amount, we should be able to dispose of it. It's, of course, incredibly high temperature, but... God damn it. Let me think for it. You know what? We can dump it into this gas pipe loop. This gas pipe loop going around here, we can dump the steam into that. It will do exactly what we need it to do. Yeah, that should work. Actually, wait, no, it'll probably solidify in the pipes. Damn it! Well, this is totally messing with my day. Over here, the gas just can't seem to get past a certain point. It keeps hitting this door and then turning back into liquid. Who knows how long that'll last. This niobium gas pump over here is immediately overheating because it's in enough gas that's a problem. I've even started using door crushers to crush some of the gas. Well, whatever this section over here, our magma pump, we can crush a little bit of gas with this by trapping it in there and destroying it. How much it's destroying? Enough, I suppose. But hopefully this gas pump can help speed this whole process along. Once we get it down low enough, we will be fine. It's just one of those messes that inevitably happen when you're on a magma planet. 3 niobium gas pumps, and we're pumping like crazy, and hopefully we can stop this place from melting. Well, the steam turbine's up to 640 degrees. That's going to make it a little bit trickier to cool. I was hoping to... I'm not sure how we're going to cool that. If we put water anywhere near that, it's just going to flash to steam. Interesting times. The gas pumps here overheated a bit, so I replaced them. This one, when I replaced it the second time, never kicked back on again. The reason being, it's exchanging heat with the microscopic amount of steam left. We're down to micromilligrams, or whatever it's called. And at that point, the gas pump is not actually able to get enough heat from it to become, well, able to actually interact with the gas. If we turn this on here, notice it's just a grey box. Anything that touches it immediately turns into liquid, but it's so small it can't actually turn into liquid, so it just sort of evaporates. It's sort of destroying it. Over here, I decided to try something the same, but with a temperature shift plate made of niobium. So this thing sits here, it's slowly soaking heat out of the surrounding area, but it's effectively destroying the gases that touch it. There are only, tiny amounts left. but it's destroying them through just turning them into liquid that then immediately evaporates the moment it hits the ground. It becomes non-existent. And this has allowed us to drag a whole bunch down very quickly. I wish we actually had more niobium, but it's been a long time since I've made a temperature shift plate out of niobium. I don't think I ever have. You never usually have it in quantities large enough. But hey, it's the planet we're on, and oh, yep, you can see that there. It's already pulling back. We're finally getting close to fixing this. This steam turbine is a little bit of a problem. It's 484 degrees. Would take a little bit of time to cool it down. I think we'll just deconstruct that and reconstruct it to save ourselves a whole bunch of effort. I tried putting temperature shift plates behind it to try and drive the temperature down. Did not work in the slightest. Oh. Yep, probably should have expected that. Naphtha. The plastic was so warm it immediately turned into naphtha. That could have been a lot worse. The boiling point of naphtha is 538. If that was much hotter, that could have been dangerous. People want to start mopping that? Quick. There we go. Thank you kindly. We'll have to dump that naphtha somewhere where it won't be an issue. But that's a problem for a later date. For now, how are we looking over here? Yeah, we just got the rocket silo 15 out, so we can get back to our little project over here. The first thing we're going to have to do is dump some more water in here. There's not enough, and that obsidian has already driven its temperature up quite high. So we're just going to have to siphon some more water in this way. We were going to use the bottle emptier earlier, but, you know, we had that emergency sealing it up to stop all the steam escaping. Mess. Oh, and we took all that steam gas and we dumped it into the background of space. That was pretty much our only choice. I had to reroute some of the gas piping to get it to work. Let's see here. Yeah, we've also got this backlog of water we need to get rid of, so this kind of works out for us. Yeah, how are we looking in here? Yeah, that's driving down the temperature nicely. Alright, let me do just a little bit more fiddling here. I want to have the correct amount of steam. We're going to need to put the steam turbine into some sort of medium so that it can exchange heat with the cooling leaf we're going to run through it. And I basically went with a naphtha. I mean, it was convenient, it was nearby. Okay, it's a little bit warm, but, you know, what can you do? Now it's time to fill the cooling loop. We have been firing. Yeah, 1 second. We will cancel that. We've been firing over supercoolant, so we do have about 800 kilos of supercoolant here. That stuff we're going to feed onto the cooling loop. It's just we need to start doing it now because the steam in here just keeps going up in temperature. It interacts with that abyssalite's going nuts, and for some reason the steam turbine is just sitting there getting temperature. Look, Yep, it's gaining a degree of temperature all the time for no apparent reason that I can figure out. And it's not the naphtha that's it, even when the naphtha wasn't there. Also, when I disconnected the power, same problem. It just seems to be... I'm not even sure what's causing it. Alright, we'll dump the supercoolant onto the cooling loop. That will go around. We're going to set this to above 40 degrees. Yeah, above 40 is fine. Actually, what does naphtha solidify at? We don't want to freeze the naphtha. Oh, minus 50. Plenty of room. Whew. Okay. Was a little bit problematic. Was a little bit dangerous, but I think we're golden. Oh. Yeah, should probably actually provide power to that aquatuner. It's going to eat into our power reserves. Something shocking, but we do have several... What the hell? Oh, yes, we started launching steel over here. Lots and lots of steel. We wanted 20 tons of steel just to continue with our construction projects. This is a very, very hungry planet. We have just about driven down the temperature of the steam turbine enough that we might actually get some cooling on this planet. We did drive our steam up to almost 200 degrees, but yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay, so we finally have an actual active cooling solution on this planet. About damn time. Okay, my own fault. Should have realized that abyssalite was going to cause us some issues. That's why I've lined the rest of this with insulated tile just to be safe. But we finally have some cooling on the Magma planet. Is it a lot of cooling? No. Is it enough for our needs? Yes. Time to tidy up a couple of minor things while we're still here. We're going to diagonally build insulated tiles here and here. That will help make sure none more of this abyssalite is dumping its heat in here. It's just annoyingly keeping this hotter than it should be, and we keep having to cool it, and it's just a waste of power and time. Well, I suppose it's technically generating its power. Nope. We'll fix it now, just in case it causes some further complications further down the line. And where is this? What the hell just happened? Where is the water coming from? I thought we got rid of all of you. You're down to like absolutely minuscule amounts of pressure. What is going on? Oh, I see. The temperature shift plate has actually got warm enough that it stopped blocking the last of the steam current. We're almost done. It's down to... Yeah, Even at this rate, letting it flow out there is not even that big of a deal. All right, let's finish this sucker off. That is the last of the steam. It will finally just dissipate, no longer cause us any issues. Jesus. One mistake it always takes, it is all it takes on a planet like this, and you can be totally boned. We were lucky we got away with that little amount of steam escaping. Any more could have been a hell of a lot worse. Okay, that is finally sealed up. Perfect. That is down to, what, steam's down to 128. So, yeah, perfect. We got exactly what we wanted. Now, next step. We gotta start filling this up. Actually, wait, no, we gotta start demolishing this old gunk here. Why is there water there? You know what? It's fine, fine. We'll just demolish that. Replace the rocket silo. We're gonna want that right about, oh, come on, right about there. And that's where we're going to put our new rocket. Then we can get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Rocket platform is ready to receive the new rocket. We're currently skill scrubbing a duplicate who's going to be flying it over. At the same time, we have brought down our cooling loop here. We've got to put some gas onto this. That gas is... Actually, I should probably give some direction to that gas. That might be an idea. We will deconstruct that there. That will actually give a... that bridge will give it flow, so it'll keep rotating round and round. Then we need to get... oxygen into it. So to do that, we are going to siphon some out of the rocket. That can only go well, I suppose. Yeah, so this comes along to here. And then it should go out this output. Now, it'll only do it once the atmosuits are full. If the atmosuits aren't full, it won't do it, so... Oh, wow, how much? This might take a minute. You know what? We'll just leave that there running in the background. We'll go back here, and where is... Odin Mesielek? Odin here has been, well, they're reasonably new, and we've just skill scrubbed them. They've been running on the wheel there for a while. Their machinery's at 11, athletics 11. They're not actually maxed out, but they're good enough that we can just go you, and done. Their only job is to sit in the rocket anyway, so they don't actually need to be that good. We'll just give them rocket piloting, and they're done. They are ready to assume their role on... Let's just say their role is not going to be great, unfortunately. Their role is going to be sit in the rocket and do nothing. They won't really be getting out very often, and they won't have a bed. Sorry, I suppose. Sorry, not sorry. It's just part of the job. Let's let you out. Odin can now exit the base, and that means we can go up to the rocket up the top of the map and put them on board. This rocket is... it's fine. The food in the refrigerator will last them about, 200 days. Yeah, a little bit over. Same with the oxalite and same with the water in the piping. So they should have about 200 cycles worth of supplies in here. They shouldn't need to be gone that long, but it does give them a lot of flexibility in what we're going to be doing with them. We just have to check back every so often to stop them from starving or anything like that. We'll also set that to none so so they can use the facilities now. A quick change of destination and set it to the liquid loading platform, and we can let them... Oh, damn it. I messed up, didn't I? And atmosuit checkpoint. Yay! My bad. Hey, time to crew up. You are not getting off this rocket again. You're just going to get on board and then stay on board until it's done. We don't actually have a sink. Couldn't figure out a way to fit in a sink in this without really messing things around. Actually, could we? No, not without getting rid of the storage bin. And I do want this rocket to be capable of being refueled and reloaded very quickly if at all possible. I mean, they can live without a bed and the occasional patch of food poisoning. They are all set to launch to the fire planet. Off you go. Now, you gonna launch? What are we missing? Nope, nothing. We're good. Perfect. Now, if we check the rocket itself, why is that sweating? Oh, liquid tanks. Are you actually able to man... Yeah, you should be able to man the rocket control station from there. Can you? Let's make sure. Yeah, it's all accessible. Perfect. Alright, they'll get to Toastibo in a bit and we can hook them up. In the meantime, where were we? Yes, filling this cooling loop. Never mind, it's already taking place in the background. Now, the oxygen's going to go through there, and it's going to pass through the steam room, and, well, in this instance, we're picking up heat. Oh, wow, actually, never mind, we are dropping off heat. It's coming in at 500 degrees. Yeah, those pipes have definitely been heated up a bit. We'll let this rotate through till it stabilizes below 200C, and once the oxygen is below 200C and the cooling loop is complete, we can then start dumping in the visco gel. We won't... Oh, actually, we're going to have to hook this up to the power as well. We'll hook up to the power later. This whole thing is going to be, well, a bit problematic. The reason being, if we check on the power lay over here, this takes 1.2 kilowatts. With this, and say the liquid loader, yeah, we're going to eat through an awful lot of power. We'll have enough to just keep the conductive wire from overloading, but that's going to be just about it. Our little cooling loop is doing wonderful. Down to 125, which is, yeah, about where we want it. Anything 200 or lower is great. So that's going to keep the steel and actually niobium pump down here nice and cool. But we need to dump some liquids down here. And the reason we need a liquid down here is that allows us to trigger this liquid pump. But that liquid needs to be on this tile. If it's on this tile, it triggers the liquid. You could also have the liquid on this tile, but that would be touching the magma, and that would be a problem. And then we're going to be able to fool this pump into pumping the magma up. It's just a handy way to move magma. However, we need that liquid to be recycled and keep coming back down again and again and again. We're going to want about 40 kilos of visco gel. The reason you want 40 kilos of this stuff is it's going to have a few blobs that are in the pipe at any one time, and we want to make sure it's constantly running. We don't want to have it, flickering on and off. Then we got all of that, and we're going to use one of the newer things here, the liquid meter. We're going to measure at 40 kilos. We're going to hook that up there. This should go along and get dropped out this section and drop straight down here and land on that. And the great thing about visco gel is it just piles up on top of each other. It doesn't spread out, it just takes up one tile. And there we go. Done. It drops exactly 40 kilos of visco gel right there. Ooh, nice. Okay, next step. Actually, let's sever that. And we're going to do one more thing. That is, we've got to drop some more visco gel, but down here on this tile for the liquid filter. Otherwise, the liquid filter will overheat. That's why we have two sections of radiant gas pipes here. Okay, give us 1 second. Once that's done, all we need is 10 kilos of that stuff. And we'll reset the amount. And it'll let you 10 kilos of visco gel. We don't need any more. In fact, 1 or 2 kilos probably would have been fine, but that's going to share heat with the liquid filter. In fact, yep, the temperature of these are all going to go up quite nicely. You'll see that the temperature of this is actually rising because it's absorbing heat from the oxygen passing through it. It's going to be 124, and for now, it's cooling down. But for now it's heating up, but eventually it'll stabilize, and this will help make sure it never goes above 200 kilos. We're going to be running these for long, long periods of time. Now what we have to do is wait until our liquid rocket arrives so that we can start jamming it full of magma. One other thing we should really do is build ourselves a battery bank. Reason being, right now, battery-wise for our solar, it's all based on these, the ones you've got built into our rockets. We're going to need battery reserves during the middle of the night for when those rockets are gone, so I'm thinking we stick it right here underneath our thermal aquatuner where we can, dump a whole bunch of chill into it. This will be our little battery area here. We're going to stick with the larger battery size, the jumbo batteries. They're not quite as advanced, but, well, we don't really mind so much. Oh, actually, we'll wait until, we're just going to wait until the actual cooling solution is in place. Otherwise, these things will overheat. Well, no, it's steel, but no point taking any risks. What we're doing here is we're dumping in about 100 kilos of supercoolant to act as a sort of a transfer medium so that we can insulate this, or we can cool down the batteries. As well as that, we're going to expand the cooling loop to rotate through it. So we're going to need to do some rejigging of these piping to get the supercoolant over there and fed into the loop. Oh, before we can get that done though, rocket has arrived. We are all set to go. If we check the interior here, Odin Macylek, how you doing, buddy? Popped eardrums. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, that's just going to be your life from now on. Sorry. It's just every time they breathe out carbon dioxide, it'll overlay the oxalite that's in there, and yeah, they're just going to end up with it. It's one of the side effects of that particular design. Nothing that can be done about it. But, yes, plan. We were going to finish this cooling loop and put in the batteries, then we're ready to start. Super coolant is all the way up to our new little loop. We'll just use a little bit of pipe cutting tool here just to help us out. Saves us a bunch of hassle, otherwise you'd be deconstructing and constructing a few things. There. Excellent. Now that rotates through there, that'll start cooling down that area. Now I'll have to send the liquid we don't use back to the tank, but yeah, I think we can throw in our batteries now. Jumbo batteries installing. That'll give us about the same amount of power storage as our 2 satellites have been giving us so far. Oh, actually, that's one thing I need to do. I need to extend this power cable up to there. That means we're going to need to get a few ladder segments across. And how the hell are we going to do that? Or we can just build from here and build it across. That should probably work. The only point, or the only need for that is so that we can recharge the suits. That's all we need it for. So This duplicant is pretty much very independent and won't have to worry about things. Let's see, morale 14. Yeah, they should be fine no matter what happens to them. They should be rock solid. Use the bathroom, get the occasional batch of food poisoning, but nothing too major. Alright, with that done, let's check out. Let's do one final check because we're about to pump magma and I want to make sure I haven't messed anything up. I've also sealed off the top here so that nothing can get in and out of this section. We just want to make sure we don't accidentally drop anything down there like droplets of water or something and force this stuff to the side or into the bad things would happen if we drop liquids down there, okay? After double, triple, and quadruple trekking this, and we installed a little bit of automation, but I'll cover that in a minute, we are ready to start this sucker up. First up, power. Second up, we need to turn on the automation. So that turns on the pump down there. All right, now pumps, for those of you who haven't seen this a Magma pump before, pumps have this sort of cross section. This section here, this 3x3 section here, and this 3x3 section here, that's where they pull liquids from. They don't pull liquids from there. They don't pull liquids from all 4 tiles. They just pull liquids from this sort of 3x3 cross section. However, they're activated if there's a liquid in either of these 2 tiles right here. So what we do is we put a little blob of liquid right there, and the liquid pump goes, oh, there's liquid to pump. However, because of the cross section, that means it's actually pulling liquid from here as well. And this results in this sort of, well, you'll see. There's a blob of visco gel, and right behind it, there is 10 kilos of magma. Then there's a little bit behind that, we got some visco gel, more magma, visco gel, magma. Once it hits here, though, the visco gel is filtered out and dropped right back down again on this spot. So the visco gel is not going anywhere. It's just going up and down and around in a circle. Its only purpose is to keep this pump active at all times. And if you check on the pump, you'll see it's pretty much always got visco gel in it. Do we need more? No, I think we're golden. Cool. And we should end up with these perfect stream of magma just heading straight up with a little bit of a gap in between. Let's maybe get ahead of that. That's heading up here. Now, the magma is slowly cooling in the pipe, so we don't want it traveling too far, and it's also while we're using insulated pipes. Now, this is going to come up here. Forget about the automation for now. It's going to roll along and head into the rocket. Now, here is the port loader. That doesn't need any settings, but this stuff does. We've set this to store magma. So that stuff will come up there, and boom, boom, boom. We are now storing magma in here. I have no idea, actually, if this is going to heat up the container. Shouldn't do anything to the container. But 80 kilos of magma in there. This thing is still 45C. Yep, so that's magma being pumped from the bottom of the map all the way up to this rocket, and we're going to hold 27 tons in each one of those. This does mean it only runs at about 5 kilos per second, though, because of the way the visco runs around. Visco takes up half the space. Nothing you can really do about that. And done. We are slowly but surely draining magma out of this section. Once it's down to 1933, yeah, we're slowly draining all the pressure as well. Of course, this is going to take a little time. Oh, and while we're doing that, one thing to explain. Why did I put in this automation here? Well, this is going to take about 18 cycles. The numbers on this are, well, pretty straightforward. If this was, say, a 10-litre pump, we're not doing 10 litres, we're only doing 5, but if it was a 10-litre pump, there's 600 seconds in a cycle. That means we'd get 6,000 kilos of magma per cycle. However, we're only doing half that, so we get 3,000 kilos per cycle. There's 27,000 kilos per tank, so that means it's 18 cycles. It's going to take 18 whole cycles for those tanks to get filled. A little bit unfortunate. It would be nice if you could run 2 of these, but you saw the difficulty we had at just setting up one of them. As well as that, it only works in this orientation. My point being, I can't drain magma from this side with this kind of setup. I'd literally have to drill another hole down here and plant another liquid pump right here to drain this side. Reason being, you can't get the magma in from this way. Wait, how do I explain this? If we take away these 2 tiles here, we have nowhere to put the blob of liquid. And we'd have to put the blob of liquid on this side. But unfortunately, this thing, the cross section, won't draw liquid from here ever. It'll only draw liquid from here, those 3 tiles and those 3 tiles. So you're stuck only drawing from the left. So what we'll have to do is once this side it starts to empty, we'll have to open up the side and use some pitcher pumps to start moving the magma over so we can start draining this side as well. It's going to take a while. Also, you got to remember, like, say 54 tons of magma we're going to move? Doing a bit of math, that's about, these things normally hold about 1,840 kilos. I mean, there's some compression going on, but let's just assume they're all about 1,840. That means you can move about 29 tiles of magma. That would be... actually, there's 30 tiles. So it'll be 1 less tile than that. So in 18 cycles, we will have moved this much magma. Oh, this is going to take a while. But that's okay. That's okay. We have time. I'm going to let this run in the background for quite some time because we still have to drain the water planet as well. Aku is, yes, going happily along. Oh, yeah, so that's going to take a while too. Also, as well, at Modilius, how are you looking on the fish front? We have been doing a lot of fish over here, so what are we up to? We have 300 fish in that tank, another 57 eggs up there, and yeah, we've got our 4 critters down here. This is working out quite nicely. Is it producing enough of this visco, or whatever you may call it, stuff? No, not really. We've got 110 kilos of resin in there. I've set this to drain every time it hits 100. We've definitely got enough to hit our insulation needs, but not enough to, not as much as I'd like just yet. Oh, that reminds me. How are we actually doing on calories over on this planet? 8.9 million calories. 8.9 million. Okay, that's good. That's good. Our home planet has more, but our home planet is, it's been doing it for a lot longer. This has been quite a fruitful planet. I haven't even gone around to cooking this stuff yet. Any guesses to how many calories we're going to have by the time we get through this much water? Now, bear in mind, we have actually drained about that much water so far, so yeah, guesstimate that in your head. However, let's have a quick cover of something while we're here. At some point, this rocket is going to fill, and well, how are we going to automatically send it back home? Well, we're not. Long story short, we're going to, let's say, this fills, and the magma starts to back up in the pipe. The moment the magma backs up in the pipe, that happens. Magma rocket, game gets paused, and our camera will be sucked right here. It's just the way we've set it up. This is set to tooltip, that noise, pause, and zoom to that location. So the moment this thing fills up, we'll get notified and we can come back here and, well, launch the rocket. Let's just do that one more time, but maybe jump to another planet to do it. I want to make sure it actually pulls us all the way back. Back here, we unpause it. Everything's going along fine, and oh, yeah, we've been notified. Perfection. That just means we don't have to worry about this thing being sitting there for 50 cycles without us remembering to launch it home. The next problem we face is this niobium volcano. I want to take care of this one while we're here, but I was thinking we'd do something very, very, very similar to this. I mean, this is a handy way of scooping up magma, so what we could do is say, oh, I don't know, grab a liquid pump like this and plop it down here. And then scoop out a hole in the bottom. When this erupts, the niobium would flow down, well, just fall straight down here into this hole, and then our liquid pump can scoop it up. Then we can pump the liquid up here through the bunker tiles in here to heat up the magma for ourselves. We want to get this magma back up to about 1600 degrees. And then we can have it flow down and into some steam rooms. Unfortunately, we don't have enough space yet for the necessary steam rooms. It's going to take more than one. We're probably going to need about 3, potentially 4. I'm going to have to do some research into that to be sure. And that way we can really meter out the control of the niobium and just, well, it would be an interesting way to try things. Basically using a magma pump style thing, but on niobium. I'm going to have to let this run for a wee bit in the background. I'm not going to really be doing anything major. I just will be doing some tidying up on the sides, but namely just so that we can scrape out some of this magma and give ourselves some more room to do some building. We definitely need several more steam turbines before we're going to be able to tame this niobium volcano. Well, yeah, I definitely enjoyed my holidays. It was the first holiday I'd had that wasn't a staycation in like, a year and 9 months. It was amazingly relaxing. Also, did you know, when you're coming into Ireland, like they've got strict rules on customs and all this stuff for cigarettes because like loads of people trying to get cheap cigarettes into the country, so you can only bring in about 200 cigarettes into Ireland. However, you can bring in 10 litres of spirits. 10 litres. I found an excellent whiskey place in Portugal that stocked an enormous amount of whiskies. My only regret is I didn't have a weighing scales or any way of figuring out how much whiskey I could put in my bag safely. I mean, I pushed it as far as I could, but I really wish I had known. I actually had about 3 kilos left of luggage space, and I could have taken some. Never mind. You live and you learn. Next time I'll just bring a second bag so I can bring back nothing but whiskey in it. Anyway, I'll hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.